Hello, Joanna. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our talk show.
Hello.
Don't forget to subscribe. I just like to hit the button. I'm Josh, and this is DJ.
I'm not Josh.
Now he's far back for some reason.
They can see me. That's really the point. I know you're gonna have a shit fit, but oh well. You'll get over it. Oh, what's going on, every guy? Blah 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 blah. Words and things. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to our talk show. Catch us every Wednesdays and Tuesdays. Also, oh Jesus, now he's messing with things. Don't forget we have an audio version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. What was the other one?
Anchor FM.
That one. And you can get us at any of your podcasting needs. Google us. Blah blah blase blase.
Blase, blase.
Blase blase. Also, don't forget that this month is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and our charity for this month is the National Institute of Mental Illness
Alliance.
I always get the words all fucked up. The charity as always will be down below. You got
And yesterday's wife's cooking.
and yesterday's wife's cooking. If you missed yesterday's,
We had Swedish meatballs.
you're a meatball.
Today's weird or stupid law is from Kentucky. A woman cannot marry the same man 4 times.
Huh?
A woman cannot marry the same man 4 times.
The same man?
Same man. Same person.
I feel so like a marriage is a big thing to put together. Right? Like you
You
got
didn't find out after 3 times.
you got people, you got best mans, you got dresses, all kinds of things. Music, food. Joanna waved.
Hi, Joanna.
You got a lot of stuff. Why'd you wave at my camera over here? Like he like waved over at my camera, like my camera could see him. But you got a lot of things.
You're married.
It's a
You
big
would
song
know.
and dance.
Your wife's home.
Yeah, I heard the car door shut. But it's a big song and dance, so I feel like doing it 4 times. Like, you know how some
The
people
same
get,
person.
you know how some people get remarried after like 25 years?
They renew the vows.
Right. Well, but they still have a big wedding again.
They just want a ceremony most of the
You know.
time.
Right. Well, and so people bring gifts and money and stuff like that. Like, I've been to a few weddings, and I noticed like that's kind of the theme, right?
It's like how when you at home, like back in the day, when you enter someone else's kingdom, you bring gifts. It's like that.
Enter somebody else's kingdom.
Yeah, if you watch the Game of Thrones or anything, anytime you enter another person's kingdom, you bring a gift.
The Game of Thrones only made it 1 episode with me.
I know. You didn't get the good parts. He said you should separate your porn and TV.
Right. I don't like porn and TV all in the same way. My biggest problem is you push the kid out the window. Like,
He's okay. For doing your sister. So
right. Like, I don't.
you got caught doing your sister, you push him out the window.
Yeah. Like, I'm not.
Why visiting another person's kingdom?
Right. You push it. Yeah. So, like, I haven't watched the next episode yet. I'm still stuck. I'm still processing the first episode.
That was 6 months ago.
Still processing it.
Every time I think about it. That kid. Poor kid.
Yeah, see, it keeps coming up. So, oh yes, getting into. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at news for us to talk about. The first thing I wanted to talk about, Bo posted it too. The release date for the new Pokemon game
For the Nintendo Switch.
for the Nintendo Switch
And Switch Lite.
We don't mention Switch
And Switch
that,
Plus.
that often. We're not like.
Well, yeah,
you didn't even finish the first Pokemon game, Sword and Shield. I'm still, exploring shit around.
It's just not my cup of tea.
I'm a Pokemon fan. I like.
You are. No, so much knowledge.
I've played every single one,
And it is strategy. Which type?
And the adverse is like a lot of people when they say they played every single one, they played at least one from every generation.
That
Right.
one guy from YouTube said, "Hi, this is Austin that does computers.
Right.
Big Pokemon fan. Got excited when you got to play Red and Blue.
And he, like me, has played like both
He
sides.
did. He's our age. Yeah, he
Okay,
played
because realistically, it's the same game
all the time.
all the time.
It's like Dragon Ball Z all over
Red or
again.
blue, it's the same game. The only difference is the legendary Pokemon you can catch.
Same thing with Sword and Shield.
Right. It's all the same game. It's just that one difference in the game, but you have to play both games in order to get, all the
The trade.
right.
And you can still trade on the Switch too.
Absolutely. You can trade online.
Back in the day, in the
all kinds of
Game
stuff.
Changer, I think it was for Game Boy Advance, is how you had the data cable, and you can, or I think it was Game Boy
Game
Color, and you can switch. You could trade your Pokemon. And then when Nintendo 64 came, you could put it on Pokemon Snap
You know
and
how
Stadium.
advanced Game Boy Color was?
Beyond, it had the camera on it.
Pokemon Pikachu, the original one,
The
not the
yellow.
Switch.
The
One
yellow
that they have, but yes, Pokemon Yellow. Pikachu actually followed behind you
Yep.
originally in that game, and like a lot of they never really picked that up again.
No.
I think they had it a little bit in EV, and
I think I saw they had the Pokemon you needed to get somewhere came out of the Pokemon, and like it said fly or cut or swim.
but you never really just had Pokemon following
No,
behind you.
only Pikachu.
Only Pikachu. But in the new game, apparently, you're going to be able to use your Pokemon a little bit more versatily. Like, use your flying mounts, use your riding mounts. Instead of getting a bike, you can just jump on your fucking Onix and ride them around,
Or abuse this Pokemon. They didn't ask to fight.
Abuse Pokemon. But no, so I'm excited. That's supposed to come out January 28th, I believe, next year, obviously.
Nintendo is the longest running video game console.
Yeah. Well, and then Pokemon and Mario would be your longest running series.
Mortal Kombat.
Well, okay, so Mortal Kombat, because
Mortal Kombat.
technically before. Well, Mario was Jumpman Mario, which was technically
Mario's
his
the
father.
longest. Sonic's
Mario-
still around, so technically Mario and Sonic.
Right.
But if you're going straight from one franchise, it's still Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat came out before. And the person who created the Game Boy is actually the CEO now of Nintendo.
Right.
The guy who, and now he can't ride his bike to work. He's too valuable.
So, also in some other entertainment news, as we're talking about video game systems and stuff like that, Sony has been
Fucking Apple's dick.
So you know what they normally do when they change systems, right? Like normally when they're moving
Well,
into another,
we've been through all the systems,
Right.
haven't we?
when they move into another generation, they stop making games for the previous one
Except for PS2 that ended in 2010.
and start making games for the next generation of console.
Yes, I think it was up to 2 years ago they were making PS3 games.
Right. Well,
The longest running is PS2.
PS4 was the leading, like it was everyone, the graphics and stuff like that was the highest it's ever been, obviously, since the upgrade of the PS2 to the PS3.
Correct.
Well, they're talking about God of War Ragnarok, which is supposed to be releasing sometime next year, which I'm sure plenty of people are excited about.
Well, they did the
And then-
first one before PS4 came out. They were talking about the God of War. They showed you a little clip of it and everything.
Right, and then
But they waited
Ratchet and Clank, the new one coming out, which I'm excited
for
about.
PS5.
And speaking of that, it was like they didn't make an actual Ratchet and Clank game for the PS4. They just allowed you to play the old ones and remastered the original Ratchet
Like the God
and
of
Clank
War
for the
thing
PS4.
reminds me of Legend of Zelda. They always make a new one for each console.
Right.
So each console, God of War, I think PS2 had the most
Well, because it came out on
during
on-
PS2.
Right.
And then
you got God of
PS3 had
War
the
3,
remaster. It was God of War 3 was in the
you know.
PS3.
Right.
And then we had God of War.
Right. Which was,
I'm glad they took their time.
and they
It was-
took their time, and it was they figured out the continuation of the story, like
Awesome.
how the growth and progression of Kratos would have happened.
He is truly immortal.
Like
He's aging now.
Well, I mean, you've come back from hell 2 or 3 times.
Kill your father. And
You've killed gods. You know, like I don't know.
you're kind of tired.
Right. If old age doesn't get you, I don't know what will.
But maybe he's like Thor. As older the Asgardians get, the stronger they get.
Oh well, he damn sure is not getting any weaker.
Oh no! Beat the
You know,
fuck out of that
and
guy.
I know the original plan was to transition over from Kratos to his son.
Well, yeah, Loki.
You know, but I don't know how you're going to
Isn't he like a double god?
like I don't know.
His wife was a witch.
Right. I don't know how you make a badass more badass.
Yeah, Loki was a little
Right.
shit, bro. All he did was talk. He didn't listen.
You know,
Never listens.
listen.
He
You know,
betrayed me. He shot me with an arrow, little fucker.
but so Sony's they're not under fire. People are talking about it because it's like, well, they said that Ragnarok was going to be on both platforms, the PS4 and
Well, yeah.
the creators of God of War,
Yeah.
right? Not Sony itself, right? Because Sony and the creators are
It's
not
like
in
Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man for both.
right. They're not in agreement, right? The creators want to sell more copies, so they're going to sell to both generations.
I would, especially when you can't get a PS5.
Right, and then Sony wants PS5 to be exclusive for Ratchet and Clank and God of War. Right. They're like, no, you can't play it on the PS4. You have to get a PS5 to play this.
You can give me Grand Theft Auto for the 13th time.
Right. Well, that's like all the games for the PlayStation right now are basically indie games. There's not really anything solid.
But you're not going to have, other than like you said from the PS2 over. See, the graphics between the PS2 and 3, you couldn't play. It was backwards compatible, but they're not going to release this. Your graphics are highly different. Even with the PS3 to PS4, it took a while. Eventually, it died out. So you're like like Mortal Kombat came for everything. You get what I'm saying? Like
It was just they upgraded so much, right? It's like from the PS2 to the PS3, the
So much.
graphics changed dramatically.
you went from
Dramatically, I'm sorry.
what was it, from triangle titties to round titties?
Right, but you couldn't be like, all right, well, you know,
Make a dumber version.
right. You know, it's not like with the Switch and Apex versus PlayStation and Apex, where you can tell it's
Oh, it's grainy.
right.
That's because they use a mobile processor for the Switch.
Right.
Other than like the new PS5 is using a computer processor custom from AMD.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the graphics card.
So a lot of it's different. So you know, people are upset. It's like, well, like you said, you can't even find a PS5.
No, it keeps getting sold out. They're not making enough.
This as soon as they get restocked, the scalpers buy them, and then the scalpers want to turn around and
Sell them for fucking buku money.
right, $1,000. It's like, well, you can't go buy it for $600 like you normally would, or $300.
They're gonna make it unpopular.
Right, you've got to come get it from us. So you know, but these are the tricks that they've learned.
I think that in Sony's just being greedy. Like your thing's selling out, your new thing, and you're not competing with PS4. You're just making more money. Yes, people are probably gonna buy the $60 game versus the $70 game.
Like I said, it's
But it's like no comparison to like when you release it on PC. You know what I'm saying? Like Apex is playing on PC too.
well, it's like, so even if, right, like you think the PC players don't get to play God of War, you're insane.
We're playing like an emulator.
Right, because somebody emulator.
I was watching people playing Zelda because Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U. Switch hasn't come out with its own Zelda game yet. That's why the guy on that PlayStation thing is like, so you're going to tell me, Switch, about the new Breath of the Wild 2 coming out, or no?
No.
Here is Hardcore Wars.
Yeah. Here's Bubble Pop. Like, it's just nothing.
Yeah, but the indie games are trying to be like the next Among Us. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, and
Or the next like
there are
Fall Guys.
There are some indie games that are just like inherently fun, and people, you know, couldn't get enough of them. so they're in development for
Oh,
the
yeah.
next ones and things like that.
What's the next Fall Guy? What's the next Among Us?
Right, and which they'll just do Among Us 2 or Fall Guys 2 or
Which is not even that much graphics, as you can see.
right. It's about the gameplay and the competitiveness of it. When they started Smash,
Oh, yes.
okay, it wasn't about the graphics.
It was about all the characters coming together.
It was about the characters being in one place and doing it.
that
Now,
commercial.
PlayStation tried a version of this, which was called All Stars.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It wasn't that good. Okay, it wasn't the same feel.
I know they have Valiant out now. It's supposed to be like a Smash Brother type thing.
Some shit. Well, they got Brawlhalla. There's a few different.
Capcom versus Marvel.
No, that's not. That's a more
That's
head
an
up fighter
awesome
like
game.
Street Fighter. That was never a like. They did one for Digimon too because I like Digimon. It was Digimon Rumble Arena
They did.
on the PS1 and 2.
And then we have Shattered Grid for
And they never-
Power Rangers.
Right, but the Digimon Rumble Arena was just that. It was a platform fighting game. It was a platform, 4 different Digimon doing whatever they wanted to do to fight it out.
It was like Pokemon Stadium.
No, it was not. It was just like Smash Brothers.
I did like
but with
Pokemon
Digimon.
Stadium though.
So it's crazy. Last bit of entertainment news we have, which is not video games. We were talking about that earlier. Disney just put in a
I don't want to hear it.
bid for AT&T for was it $43 billion?
People who don't know this, AT&T owns Warner Brothers, HBO, stuff like that.
DC,
which is part of Warner Brothers. Mortal Kombat,
Mortal Kombat. You're right, but that's
Time Warner.
I'll guarantee you that's what they wanted the most. They didn't care about Mortal Kombat.
They might have.
They didn't care about
They
HBO.
saw that Snyder cut, right? They saw that Snyder
Right.
cut
They
and
didn't
wanted
care
it.
about none of that. They cared about AT&T, which should bring them into a cellular marketplace. Okay, which it's not like they needed the boost in business anyways. You found it, didn't you?
No, I saw 2 years ago when they were buying out Fox for 71 million or billion.
71 billion. They offered less than what they offered. Well, Fox was a bigger enterprise, I guess.
But it was just different assets of Fox.
Yeah. But so they're looking to get their hands on DC, They made such a capital off Marvel, and they finally want to bring DC into the world. The only thing I'm concerned with is the CW.
24 billion.
You're getting 24 billion.
I'm just checking out the AT&T Discovery deal. AT&T is buying Discovery Channel
Right.
for 24 billion.
That's why
It says AT&T lays out new priorities after its Warner Media deal. That's why I guess Disney's coming after them.
I mean, $43 billion is a lot of. It's not a small chunk of change, I mean, I guess in their world, it's probably like just okay,
Yeah.
because that's probably what they clear a year,
Yeah, but because all these, it's the streaming platform. They're all competing with
Right.
like the independent companies like Netflix and Amazon.
That's like those motherfuckers need to pay buku taxes. Like, they don't
Netflix
need-
does because Netflix
You don't
buys
need no tax
it.
breaks.
Netflix buys it from the distributor.
$43 billion. You can $3 billion in taxes, like no problem. That don't even affect you.
That's crazy though. Fucking they're trying to get a monopoly. If you guys
Disney-
go on Wiki, I did this a couple of years ago, but now it's a lot more now. And you look under Disney's assets, it'll show you all the companies that they purchased. And if you look at Warner Brother, they have the same thing. Like Warner Brother owns one part of the world, and Disney owns the other half, and including in all media. Like with CW, it's a 20-30% NBC, because it used to be UPN and WB, and then they merged together.
Right. Well, that's like
Which they had SmackDown on there, and now Peacock has SmackDown. Went from went from USA to Peacock, NBC.
It's like I talk shit all the time to Jake Paul, or not to Jake Paul, about Jake Paul.
I mean,
I don't know Jake
money.
Paul. But because they prey on the children,
Well, not anymore.
right? But that's how
the audience grew. Well, yeah,
that's-
now they're grown up.
That's how they made their empire, right? It's the same thing with Disney and Warner Brothers and Universal Studios and stuff like that. They focused on the children aspect of the business, and use that to make money. And you know, the crazy thing to think about is like if you think about it in your head, right? It's like children ain't got no goddamn money right now. Like if I go to a little Timmy, like little Timmy, spot me a $5. Whoa.
Hold on. I think we lost Facebook. Only one person was watching Facebook. Twitch is
Doing something. It's saying live, but it's flashing.
Nah, it says we're offline.
Facebook's back.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Thank God. Nope, we lost. Oh, we're live. Oh, we're all back on all platforms. Sorry about that.
Ah.
But it reminds me of what happened with when Fuller House came back. They was trying to target 2 generations. Same thing with Girl Meets World.
Right.
So people who grew up with these shows, and now they can sit down with their kids, and they have something to bond over. So I think that's what's going on with DC and Marvel and all that. Like, oh, we can both relate to Flash, or we both can relate to Iron Man. You know, Iron Man when I was a kid.
Yeah,
and now this is
what age you are. Flash.
Yeah.
It's like Flash.
So now they're targeting both audiences at the same time because you're excited to buy your kid a Flash costume because you want to wear a Flash costume or whatever it is, but you can't because you're old. But it's something to connect because, you know, it's hard to connect with kids not playing Fortnite all over the place.
Right.
So now, like I said, that's what they're trying to do. Like Fuller House did it, so Netflix did it first. And then Disney did it with Girl Meets World. So now they're bringing back old shows so you can relate for both generations. The Mighty Ducks thing they did on Disney.
Yeah, Game Changer.
Yeah, we're all gonna watch it. Kids are gonna, you're gonna watch it. It's like a hockey movie.
I watched it. Yeah, I loved it. Thought it was great.
So that's what Disney's like. Oh, that's what we're doing.
That's it. They're just trying to like
because Disney killed the movie game.
Eventually, Disney's just gonna own everything.
WB not so much. WB's been struggling with different directors and stuff for years, trying to put a universe together that's been around as long as Marvel. The only thing that did it correctly was TV.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I feel like DC in their TV shows does better
Killing the TV game
than their movies.
Yes.
Right. Even with the Schneider cut and.
Well, the problem with DC is that you have the different directors.
Right.
When you have a crossover like with Sony or the other people directing different Marvel movies, they asked the other director how they did it, and they're going to make it different than the other movies, of course, because that's their movie. Like you had James Gunn that did Guardians of the Galaxy, but then the Russo brothers directed all the Endgame and Avengers, so it's a different director. But with DC, you had this guy did this part with the Justice League Snyder cut, but it made no sense because it wasn't part of Man of Steel, and then.
Yeah.
Like we talk about, like literally comics, you have your script right there. Like it's already written in front of you. And with DC, you have different universes. Hence why we had the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Right, and they were able to incorporate some of the Universal stuff. You know, like the Lucifer, which wasn't originally.
But he's part of the DC universe.
Right, he's part of the DC universe.
That's how
but
he
he wasn't CW.
No, he's Fox.
You know, he was Fox, and then.
The only one they didn't bring together was Gotham. They brought everything else together.
Well, that's because
they even brought 1989 Batman together.
Gotham sucked, and they didn't really want to talk about it, so they just.
But they brought back Michael Keaton's Batman World. They brought even the voice of
Snyder cut Flash.
Yep, they have him in there.
You know, stuff like that. So I don't know.
They brought the universe. Yeah, they killed the TV game more than Marvel. Marvel tried on Netflix with all the Jessica Jones and Daredevil. It's all part of the same universe. But they got canceled. Iron Fist got canceled. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. went downhill.
Yeah, I never even.
So they're killing the movie game. Even now with the new Eternals, they mentioned, have you guys seen the trailer? They mentioned at the end, you know, that Steve Rogers is gone in Iron Man, who's going to do the Avengers.
But it, you know, WandaVision was great.
Amazing.
You know,
and I liked Winter Soldier, and even despite they had to cut each series because of Corona, they had to change it.
Well, it's like
they
even
still did a good job.
Had that problem. They had the first.
We don't know
what's
going on in Flash.
I didn't. You didn't. I always know.
Well, even right now, we're only how many episodes in? 7. I think 7.
9.
Well, Superman has 7, so I think they're all trying to catch up
Right,
to the
but
same.
Superman went to
Hiatus
vacation 1 week
for 2
before.
months.
Right, and Flash.
But I think it was catching up, so they had to
Flash was
catch
only
up.
gone a week.
Yeah, so I think it's 7.
Right, because Flash normally has 23 episodes.
Well, all CW show, yeah. But I think they're trying to make sure that they match up because they're going to do a crossover soon.
Right. Well, but it's not just that. It's so 3 of the episodes from this season
It was supposed to be the ending of last season.
The ending of last season because there's only 19.
But if you watch today's episode or yesterday's episode,
I haven't.
You're not going to know who the villain is anymore.
I haven't known who the villain is.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know. Continuously. It's like this is these mini villains.
I know something's wrong with.
Well, Cisco's leaving
with the Speed Force. Well, we knew Cisco was gonna go.
Because the last night, because it aired Tuesday, but I was on YouTube and they showed a promo, and I'm like, says goodbye, Cisco, and I'm like, oh, they're canceling Flash.
Flash is canceled.
Is that what he said? He said
it was so.
Things haven't been the same since Corona and the Crisis and Arrow actually ending.
I know it's been
like it actually affected the other shows. Black Lightning's last season, Supergirl's last season.
Yeah. Did you know that over 33,000 New Yorkers have exchanged their driver's license for Florida ones since 2020?
Exchanged it?
Yeah.
Like they moved from New York to Florida?
Well, I would hope so, but I imagine some people came.
Are people like, oh, I forgot to do it?
You know, a lot of people up there come down here for winter and stuff
that
like
I
that.
know, yes. They're like,
so they have addresses in both places.
Yeah, they get mail. We call them snowbirds.
Right. Well, that's what we call them, as snowbirds.
It's because it's usually elderly people because it's too cold.
Right. We call them assholes who can't drive.
Well, they're from New York.
That's what I call them.
But hey, when they live in New York, they live like Fast and the Furious, only a quarter mile at a time.
Right.
That's all they get.
No, well, they don't drive much. They just go outside, take taxis.
And they still get a quarter mile at a time.
Everything's right on the bottom of their building. Like, there's no, suburbs. So it's not like you... Well, I mean, there is a suburb
Right, how about
area.
your mother lived beneath or above a bar?
Right.
You don't have to worry about taxi, Uber, and you just go back upstairs to your house.
Yeah, that's it. That's why Barney wanted the room. Weirdos.
So he didn't have to go across town.
So he didn't have to go across town. He could just go back upstairs from the bar.
It's smart.
And then they ate down there like they didn't.
Yeah.
They hardly ever ate upstairs.
No, not like Big Bang Theory kind of thing.
No, they just ordered.
Let's say ordered pizza.
Right. So
Or they went to different restaurants to run into celebrities.
But I imagine that don't want to live in New York no more.
Well, after Corona, they're so close to each other.
Right. They want to spread out a little bit.
I remember,
can't have 6 feet if you're standing on someone's head.
Remember the joke that Florida didn't care about masks or anything like that, and they had different laws, same as Texas. So people started moving to Florida and Texas.
Right. Yeah.
Because Florida don't care.
Even though we definitely do.
We do.
People are getting kind of laxed on it, But I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna wear my mask. And no offense, but I didn't like people standing up on me to begin with.
You and Brent both are like 6 feet rule. Thank God.
Right? I'm just like, yo, dude, you need to back the fuck up. Like, if I can hear you breathing, you're too goddamn close.
You okay? Get the fuck away from me, bro.
Like, I'll be in the store, right? And people walk up right behind me, and I'll move up, and then they'll move up.
No. And
then I'll move up again.
And then there they are.
Right? And they'll move up again, and then I'll say something. I'm like, yo, I moved up so I wasn't so close to you. If you want to go in front of me, go ahead. Otherwise, back the fuck up.
Back the fuck up.
I get irritated. That's why I don't go out much. I'm quick to be like, yo, fuck off.
Yo, fuck off.
Right? Because, it's my personal space, right?
It is.
You don't have to be standing on my dick. If you want to, you got to take me to dinner first. You can't just be up on my shit and not offer.
Your wife earned it,
right? Fuck, offer me a drink. Hey, can I pay for that drink in your hand? Seeing as how I'm gonna stand so goddamn close to you.
Set them up your ass.
Hey, I've grabbed your butt a little. You want me to buy you a pack of cigarettes? Something.
Show your appreciation.
Oh man, I get mad, and then I start talking shit, and I'm just like, before when I didn't wear a mask, you could see my mouth, right? But now all you can see is my glaring eyes when I fucking
and a beard.
So you
You mean business?
I'm right. I'm fucking crazy. You should back away from me. You know, I just don't like people up on my shit.
You're not going to New York,
No, not going to New York.
Vegas.
Even when I went like through the state of New York, I stayed in my car, I stayed on the highway, and I went right by.
Was it 95
Yeah,
when you went to Maine?
yeah. Like we saw the pretty buildings, and I could see them from the car. It was crazy, and I kept going.
You just get
Never went into the city.
that smell.
Like I don't know. I
Didn't leave the car.
didn't leave the car. I was on the road.
Hated Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey.
Wasn't gonna take your chance in New
Shouldn't
York.
have stopped in Jersey either.
I didn't want to take your chance in New York.
Like, yeah.
The city that doesn't sleep.
Well, New York, technically, it only takes like 35 minutes to actually drive past. It really doesn't take that long
You go through New York
to
City,
go through New York.
unless you're in the city.
Unless you go into the city, right?
I know,
If you
because people are like, I'm going to Connecticut. Like, it's nothing. I'm just going to drive to Connecticut today.
Yeah.
Drive to
Well, it's right
Connecticut.
there,
It's
you know.
right there.
Like I said, like we drove,
We used to go to North Carolina.
I think it took us like all of an hour and a half, 2 hours to get from where we were in Jersey to Connecticut. And then it was like night and day, right? It was like New York, crazy, blah. And then Connecticut is like you were out in the country again, right? It's
No
like
buildings.
Nobody was fucking there. We ate at like a little mom and pop
love
restaurant
mom-and-pop restaurants.
that happened to be right next to the little bullshit hotel. You know, fucking. It was.
Did you get lobster when you were in Maine?
I did. Well, not when we were in Maine. I got Maine lobster in Connecticut.
Close enough.
Close enough, you know.
They got their lobster from Maine.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure, right? Like it's cold
sure they
enough.
got their lobster from Maine.
You know, the thing I liked the most, I think, about Maine though, was the state patrol. The state patrol.
The state patrolman?
Yeah,
The
I
Mounties.
don't, why am I feel like I'm saying that wrong? State.
State police?
Yes. No. That's what we call them, right?
Yeah, we call them state police. Florida Highway Patrol.
Yeah, Florida Highway Patrol. There we go. Oh, state police, state patrol.
Their jurisdictions all over the state.
Their cars are bright fucking blue.
Blue?
Like powder puff blue. Right, and then they're sitting in this
Like
middle
baby blue?
Yeah, they're sitting in the middle of the field like I can't see them from 5 miles away.
I'm going to slow down.
Well, that's the other crazy thing. Once you get up there, speed limit's 80.
Who are you catching? Like someone doing 120?
I mean, I'm saying like I did 80, 85 the whole way, which is 10 over the normal posted speed limit,
75.
which was right about 70, 75. And I got up there, I'm like, fuck, I got to speed up. I'm going too slow.
They're going to pull me over.
They're going to pull me over. Like, hey, you're endangering nobody, because there was nobody on the road. It's like,
They're all New York.
once people are like in Maine, they don't leave Maine. They're like, we're not, we don't want to go back down to all that shit. It's peaceful. It's quiet.
Cold.
It's cold. I was fine. Thor shit in the back of the car because he didn't want to go out in the cold to go potty. He was not having it.
He didn't like the cold?
He didn't like the cold.
I like the cold.
The cold definitely bothered him anyway.
Didn't bother you.
Didn't bother me. And
You felt better.
I was great. I was like, wow, this is. I can move a little bit. This is nice.
Your wife's freezing her ass off.
Yeah, my wife couldn't handle it. She, got out of the car, fell, almost died. Had to turn around and bring us back to solid ground.
And how long did you stay in Maine for?
Oh, we were there for like a day.
You just turn around and went back home?
Well, the house was a big. I don't want to get into it. It was a big shit show. The house wasn't ready. Then the guy who we were getting the house from was like, "Oh, I can put you up in a hotel for a few weeks. Only charge you like $700." I'm like, "Bitch, we're not even paying that much for the house." Like, it was a big shit show. So we just turned around and came back. But we knew not to stop in Jersey on the way back.
You stopped in Connecticut.
Right, we stopped in Connecticut before Jersey.
In New York.
Right. Yeah, we it was my fuck up, right? It didn't click in my brain that I had
Stopped in
picked
Jersey?
a place in Jersey to stop. Right? I'm just like, "Oh, there's a bridge and there's a hotel right there." I'm like, "All right, cool." Right? Cuz I physically looked at the surrounding areas on the map. Right? And it doesn't show, like, it's not like Google Streets. It doesn't show you,
Yeah. It just says ping.
Now you can, like, bitch, you can see.
You can see the trash?
You can see all the trash on the ground. You can see bitches with big jugs of wine bottles. It was It was sketchy. The hotel room smelled like dead sex hookers. It was bad.
They had the cockroach rat from How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you need to put my money back in my account. I'm gonna keep going. Thanks. I need a refund. You know.
They weren't having it.
It's just. Whew.
So what else you got in news?
Oh Jesus! I don't know that I have anything. Newly released photos. U.S. Navy footage shows UFO.
Oh, that one again?
Yeah, I that one always makes me mad. It feels so loose. It's like, oh,
well,
UFOs.
it is technically. We don't know what it is. It's called a UFO.
It's an unidentified object. Well, it could have been a fucking speck on the front of your shit. You know, it was just fuck.
Oh yeah, it's all
like,
over.
Aliens.
This one is a fighter pilot and a working mom saw a UFO for real. And it shows that imaging that when they were UFO sign went from joke to national security worried in Washington 2 days ago.
I don't know. Apparently, next Evil Dead movie's on the horizon.
Which one?
Evil Dead. It was an old. It was.
I know. It has what's his name in it?
Sam X.
Sam X in it.
You know, Bruce Campbell.
Played a drive-in during Corona.
Evil Dead.
Yep, the original, 1994.
Jesus, that must have been old and dusty.
Nope, they gave it on a flash drive because they remastered it.
Oh, so was it any?
Yeah, it was good. It was remastered.
Was it any good?
It was in digital.
Speaking of Evil Dead, that kind of plays into. And I wanted to talk.
They're talking about the army thing on Netflix, the zombie army or whatever. Zack Snyder's movie.
I haven't watched that one either.
I don't watch Netflix. It's like Army of the Dead.
Yeah, I saw the title and I'm like, that's not.
Well, the original.
That's not. Yeah, but if Bruce Campbell's not in it, there's no point on doing it.
It has Batista in it.
Right. Batista's not Bruce Campbell.
Oh, far from it.
Far from that jawline. Like, have you seen Bruce's perfect jaw? You can't. Like, that's hard to. Him and Jay Leno are the only.
Jay Leno, yep.
The only two people. Like, I wish I had a jawline that wide and beautiful.
Did you know they were setting up Bruce Campbell to play Mysterio in the Spider-Man movies?
That'd be cool.
The original 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, Bruce Campbell was in all 3.
What was he?
He was the entertainer in the beginning that gave him his name, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. That's
Then
right.
he was the either 2 and 3. He was the opera person who wouldn't let Peter in to see Mary Jane because he was late.
Nah.
And then he was the for the French restaurant.
Listen,
He was the hostess. Apparently, the guy who directed all 3 were setting up for him to be the Mysterio number 4.
I have not seen a Tobey Maguire movie in
Seabiscuit?
just ever.
He hasn't really been.
You know,
He was in that War movie.
I didn't like him as Spider-Man, but that's just me. You know?
Toby. He was in the Problem Child with Macaulay Culkin.
You know, I didn't. I guess I've just never really liked
Toby.
Tobey Maguire's face.
Rumor has it apparently him and Andrew Garfield's supposed to be in the next Spider-Man movie. But we're waiting for the trailer.
Also, they're adding a lot of like Lucifer's getting another season.
No, I think it's canceled.
No, they're getting one more. They were talking about
part 2.
Oh yeah, I guess the rest of
it's done after that.
Yeah.
Well, God showed up. I know, waiting for that. It's like waiting for the new Doctor Who fucking shows and Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Well, they announced Rick and Morty season.
I'm saying
5.
waiting for the new episodes.
Right after.
Feels like waiting for the new Doctor Who episode.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly,
Or Westworld.
It's
Doctor Who was 2 years.
been a long year.
Remember that? It was
Has
2
it been?
years when Peter Capaldi went to the girl one. It was a 2-year wait.
The girl, the woman.
He had 2 Christmas specials before he transformed into her. Not seasons. It went from like, oh, we're done with him. A whole year goes by and we do a Christmas episode with him.
Christmas
Yeah.
special.
Once Upon and Twice
But then
Doctor.
They did two seasons
With her, right?
Yeah. Which the Timeless Child, the end of the second season.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's on HBO, right?
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Yeah, I know. You just sat down, shut your door, and said, "Don't leave me alone."
Yeah, don't bother me.
If you guys have Peacock, all the Harry Potters are on there.
Yeah. See, and here's the thing with me, like.
Do they have commercials?
No.
Not like Hulu.
A lot of times I can watch things with people and be fine, right? But if I want to focus, right,
Someone's gonna talk. Yeah.
and somebody talks to me, then I'm pissed. You know, it's like when Matt Pat's doing all the math, and you proceed to talk to Kim. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to hear the mathematics shit in my head.
I just want to know if she
Right.
knew what transport an electric Pokemon.
Mhm.
Thunderstone.
The Thunderstone. It's not all electric Pokemon. It's
Is it just Pikachu?
well, it's Pikachu and a few others, but Pikachu, Eevee,
Eevee.
yeah, because Jolteon. But that's not the point. Is if I'm trying to focus on something like Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, you gotta watch. You really gotta watch
I watch
The Flash.
intently because in case like later on we're talking about something and you try to say something and
You're
I
like, no,
correct you, and then you're like, blah, blah, blah,
Or you
blah,
had to
blah.
pay attention,
No,
like with
I'm
Matt
right.
Smith, because remember he was going through time with the different bows.
Right.
Like when he was talking to Amy, it was like the series finale, a season finale,
Yeah.
as he was going backwards
Back
in
through the
time.
cracks.
So you have to remember.
I don't
You
know.
gotta pay attention.
Certain shows I like to pay attention, you know, and I don't like to be bothered. Like Flash, I don't like to be bothered when I watch Flash.
I know. I mean,
I don't want to be asked questions. I don't want to be nothing. I want to watch it.
WandaVision,
And then if I watch it again with you, then if you have questions for me,
because we already seen it.
I have the answers for you, you know, or my theories, or you know,
like
a
we do,
lot of-
like we do with WandaVision.
right. A lot of times I can watch shows and know which way they're going to set it up to dig themselves out.
Matt Smith from the first episode. Silence will fall when a question is asked.
Yeah.
From the first episode, they knew how Matt Smith was going to go out, and that's fucking amazing. Because he went 3 seasons.
Right. Well, yes.
Yeah, they mentioned
he
the
knew-
silence.
He knew how they were how it was
Mofat.
going, right? But you know,
They knew the end game. They just had to fill in the middle.
only Moffat knew he was making it out of that.
But I'm saying the first episode, that is fucking genius. From the
Yes.
very first, not just the season, his whole run.
Right, but you can write him that way because you know at some point he has to die.
Yeah,
So you write the beginning and the end.
but you saw
and then
the
you fill your way into the middle.
but you saw the paradox. It's like when you can't cross your own time stream, and they showed that one episode with Rose,
Right.
and we never heard of those creatures again.
No.
Kind of things and stuff like when they introduced the Weeping Angels and he was trapped in time, and there was another paradox there.
Right.
So like for Mofat to go silence, the silence word, blah blah.
I remember the TARDIS was a paradox machine for a while.
Yep, it was because what's his
Changed
name?
a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, that's another good one from not. I don't think it was Mofat, but I think it was the other Russell T Davies.
Moffat.
When Russell T Davies had
I keep calling him Mofat.
Moffat.
Mofat. Sounds like his
Russell
rapper
T
name.
Davies had the master throughout the whole season. He was basically there the whole time on TV, and no one caught it.
He came back and danced with Missy, which was himself from the future.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But that season when they found out the master was the first time we saw the master in our generation,
right.
and he was in the background the whole time
He was the
on the TV. He was the
right.
prime minister.
Well, yeah, he was the prime minister, but when you find on the episode where you finally realize he's the master, he's the professor, so you don't actually know it's him.
But when they come back to their time,
Right.
apparently he was there the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Every time Jones
the
came
last
back.
3 years, yeah,
Yeah.
that they came.
So but that was crazy. I like that one.
He was pulling the strings from the background, yeah.
And he's like, I'm not regenerating. That's all you got for news?
Yeah,
We're gonna move on to your mythological creatures.
not actually feeling it.
Well, that's what I named the title.
I know. I mean, we talked about Pokemon.
And
Like I said.
that's not mythological.
I mean,
So that's what I hate Wednesdays.
yeah,
You pick a topic.
I know.
We only have to talk like 10 minutes of
you
the
know,
topic.
You know, the worst part is I thought about it for a week. I was thinking about
that's
it.
why we're here.
No, like I physically thought about it for a week. It's the reason I started watching Harry Potter.
Mythological
You know.
creatures.
Well, it's like what
We got Medusa,
what was
Hydra,
Medusa?
the hoop snake.
You're thinking from a different.
I'm just looking on Google.
You're just looking on Google.
You can talk about the Greek one, the serpent, the world serpent.
The world serpent, Ragnarok. It was in that
Mhm.
God of War. But no, like I was just thinking about it, and I was like, you know, there's a lot of different genres. Right.
That's what they show. They show Greek. They show different religion and all
Right,
that other
like
stuff. Cultures.
Each cult, you know, the Spanish got the chupacabra.
Spain, not Spain, Brazil,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and Mexico have the goat sucker.
I guess.
That's what chupacabra means. Means goat sucker because the
I'm
farms they would eat the
right.
goats.
The only
Apparently,
reason I know
it's supposed
that's
to look like a
from
moth,
the only reason I know that's from like Ben 10.
but it translates to Mothman,
Does it?
like like Jeepers Creepers.
I don't know. Like I said, the only reason I know that's from like Ben 10, and it was like a werewolf type thing.
It's not a werewolf.
You know,
That's another one. That's another mythological creature.
the werewolves.
They say it came from that disease that gives you all the hair, and then people mistaken it when they have rabies or something.
Right.
All lies come from truth.
Bigfoot was.
But then they had
was some
the
tall,
other
hairy dude.
one, not just Bigfoot. They had the Yeti up north, which is the snowman version of Bigfoot.
Yeah,
The Loch Ness monster.
I remember.
Apparently, it's 170 years old.
Right, which a lot of people it's just a dinosaur that happened to survive.
170 years, a million years.
I mean, technically, you don't know what their
No, they were
age
saying it
spans
was. We're closer to the mammoth than we were to the dinosaurs.
were. Right. Well, yes.
So I think it was like 30,000 years.
Well, because it would have been the Ice Age and then us again,
Well, yeah, they said the Loch Ness monster froze and then he was thawed out.
probably.
He was in the lake in Scotland. Or they have
Like-
kids, like Godzilla. Remember the theory of Godzilla wasn't just one Godzilla;
Right.
it was multiple Godzillas.
Right. Godzilla and then Godzilla.
The one
Jr.
I know, I guess, is from China and Japan, is the dragon. They actually haven't found. Knowing the dragon can also be part of Greek.
So I was thinking about that, right?
I think it's a Greek, right?
I was thinking about that and the documentary about fossils and stuff we watched, and there would have been fossils all over the continents and things like that. And Japan was still part of Pangea,
You don't know about
and
Pangea?
it's like, how far back do you think before they found dinosaur bones? It could have been the medieval times in
They
Japan.
could have found dragon bones already and not said nothing.
or found T-Rex bones and just thought they were dragons and wrote the stories that way, and then that's what became.
Yeah, they have a lot of spirits, I think, in Japan, like the kitsune, which is what's it called? A fox. But the fox is a trickster.
Well, a lot of their anime is written that way too.
Trickster. There's a trickster. Was the kitsune. And then they had the spirit of the dragon, spirit of the dog. A lot of almost like Indian. You know how they're in touch with the spirits and everything? They do the spirit walks and stuff. Japan's sort of like that.
It's just crazy to think that each.
They have the celebration of the dragon in Japan. They do the whole parade and everything.
That's where a lot of the Pokemon come. Like in your Pokemon game, a lot of them are after spirits and stuff like that. Actually, that's where the legendaries normally come from. Is their big spirits and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, they believe.
That's why I don't like Wednesdays. We don't talk long on the topic. We talk about news and other
I know
shit.
it's just so hard to promote. That's why. Because we do it live.
Need someone promote it live. Live promotion.
But yeah, the only thing that we discovered is dinosaurs and I think giants. I think they said they found giant bones. Yeah, let me look that up. I'm thinking serious.
I feel like giants just gradually got smaller.
Could be.
Like if you think about it, like Andre the Giant, that was a massive man.
Well, they died, didn't they? They died early. People who were tall because of they didn't get the bones or something.
Bone problems, heart disease.
Apparently they found giant bones.
Probably.
But if it's anything like dinosaurs, I guess the first kind of creatures.
Found a tall guy and we found giant bones.
Yeah, but because what happened with the Egyptians when they used to
Mummify people.
well, not even that, they would from a young age shape their heads as babies with the things to make them grow and stuff like that. Like you could shape your bones that you don't know what you're finding. Oh yeah, as kids they would do that wrap thing to make their head grow longer.
So they have more brain power?
No, just more emptiness.
Just more emptiness.
But the most mythological thing that I know of is, of course, of the Greeks. Like Zeus and all that. The Titans,
The Titans.
and
What
stuff
was it?
like that.
Minotaur.
The Minotaur.
That's the one that's half bull, half.
Yeah. You watch
goat or whatever.
Hercules.
Right. If you watch Hercules, you find a
Oh,
lot
they have
of
all of them, don't they? They have trolls and fairies and
Oh, there was a lot of
everything in the
seasons of
Greek
Hercules,
mythology.
So, yeah.
Demigods,
And
gods.
then I like the bewitched side of it, like from Harry Potter. There's a lot of you got the unicorns and
That's Scotland's main animal.
what?
Yeah, unicorn.
Scotland has unicorns.
That's their what's it called? That's their animal.
The country's animal. The
Unicorn Scotland, yes. That's their national animal.
The more you know. See, got a fact on the way in and a fact on the way out. Look at that. The more you know.
It's just a rhino who's sad. It's just unicorns are just rhinos who are pretty.
Unicorns are just rhinos that are pretty.
Yeah, but mythological. I think mythological has to do with like magic, like you said, like Harry Potter and all that.
Yeah.
I remember the only thing I remember from magic. I don't know why it stuck with me. Is from Merlin, how they defeated the evil queen or whatever. Is like if you don't believe in it, it doesn't exist. And they got the whole town not to believe in her, and that's why she disappeared.
It's like Cthulhu.
What's that?
That's that tentacle god or whatever. Cthulhu. Never heard of Cthulhu?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, the sea?
I don't know what it is. Is there was a series written around that. Basically, you can make your own mythical creatures and stuff like that.
Well, they have what's
They have what's that?
Yeah, there is a tentacle god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Cthulhu. Created by writer H.P. Lovecraft. Oh, Lovecraft, that show on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the stories of Lovecraft. Oh yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah. His imagination. He just
But at the same time, you don't know. Because these people write some shit. Even if you go back to the Bible, the guy saw a burning bush. And it spoke to him.
LSD.
Fucking shrooms, man. If some homeless guy, crazy guy came out and goes, hey, that bush is talking. When you're like, okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly today, would it?
But imagine these people, because it's like the 1800s and stuff when they wrote these things. Like when H.G. Wells wrote The Time Machine. Like when people
Journey
read
to the
it.
Center of
Or
the
Journey,
Earth.
like what do you come up with this? This doesn't make any sense.
You don't know they could have been there.
Yeah, created by Lovecraft.
Burnians. I love that movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
I like The Time Machine.
One of my favorite movies.
His version was that it didn't travel in space just in time, meaning
Right.
he had to stand still.
That one drove me nuts.
Time Machine.
I was
And
like
then
that.
further he went to the future, it looked like further he went to the past.
Right, I was like, that all sucks. I wouldn't do none of that.
And the whole story was that you can't change destiny.
Right.
That's
Every
it.
time he tried to change it,
She
he
died.
Caused it. So, it was bullshit.
That's so crazy. To think of time travel during that time.
Which, if I guess what it boils
It was
down
the same
to is
time as-
imagination. You know?
'Cause it was around the same time as what's his name? Einstein. It was H.G. Wells and Einstein were in the same era.
Yeah. Maybe.
So you go from fiction to reality. Because Einstein came up with the theory of relativity.
Maybe we could just call it stretching the truth.
Because you can't prove it.
Right. I mean, you can't.
That's why it's called a theory.
You can prove a film theory. Oh, Matt Pat.
No, they proved us. It was 100 years. They proved it with gravity. The whole story about the Interstellar.
Yeah.
No, they had a machine to travel messages through gravity, and that was the whole thing of Einstein, and they proved it between two universities. They proved his theory after 100 years after he died, or he claimed it.
The more you know. I don't know.
And that's just a theory.
No, you can't do it.
Oh, you try. Okay.
No, can't do it.
Oh, we
did
get copyright
it-
in.
We did it once. We said it was for Matt Pat. That's for you, Matt Pat.
But each, like you said, each tribe, culture, everyone has their own mythological creatures.
Yeah.
Except America, because we're just mixed up with all cultures.
Right. So we've got them.
We have werewolf, which came from London, or actually came from like an Indian tribe because of a Wendigo.
We got
Shapeshifter.
vampires.
Shapeshifters. Anything from Supernatural. Or if you watch, what is it? What's the other one? The stupid one. Oh, True Blood.
True Blood.
They went into fairies.
I don't watch none of that shit.
And then the Supernatural's like, we're just going to talk about the Bible. Okay, Charmed. Maybe Charmed. Or right now, if you watch
Yeah.
the spin-off Legacies from the Vampire Diaries.
I mean, shit. Like I said, Harry Potter's got their own. J.K. Rowling did her own movies you know, but
She wrote scary books too. Did you hear about that?
no
She also wrote scary stories.
Goosebumps. Remember?
R.L. Stein.
I'm not even gonna. That just gave me chills.
Give
All
me
right.
goosebumps.
Gave me goosebumps, right? All right, I'm done with you now. I need to pee. It's pee time.
That's pizza. That means we're gonna end the show, guys. Thank you for
Yeah.
watching. Don't forget to subscribe. It
Don't
won't
forget
come
we
up.
have audio versions on Anchor FM, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your
Podcast needs.
podcast needs. Don't forget that this month's charity is the National Alliance of Mental Illness,
Yes.
and this is the last.
Episode of May.
Yeah, and what's next month?
Don't know. You should just type in charities for June.
Charities for June. Is it Booby Month yet?
Not until October.
October's Booby Month.
So thank you guys. We'll catch you next week Tuesday between the hours of hopefully 11 and 1
Fuck
or
it,
10 and noon.
whenever Josh decides.
And Wednesday will be later because we will have a guest.
Oh yeah, we got a guest Wednesday.
Mr. Bryn Geddick is coming to visit our set.
Can't even says his name right.
Geddick. I know. Oh, I know his name.
You know his name.